Hi there. This is a tutorial showing you how to use Winamp to record yourself or to record playing your records, playing your playlists, playing your DJ session through using a piece of DJ software, and then using that Winamp to capture the performance and turn it into a stream, which is an MP3 file that is sent to a streaming service, which in this case, the streaming service is Shoutcast, which is an internet radio type streaming service, and then sending it to a stream venue. In this case, it would be Sansar we're going to show you. So this tutorial is just the how to get the music into Winamp, and as long as I'm in there, I'm going to combine it with the stream production as well, because we'll be using Winamp and we'll be using a plugin inside of Winamp to actually create the stream, which will be an MP3 stream. So if we go ahead here real quick to see how to go do that, this is the site you should go to, directory.shoutcast.com/Winamp. And you can download Winamp here. I've already downloaded Winamp and installed it. But I'm going to go ahead and download this Shoutcast source DSP and show you how to configure that in order to take whatever Winamp is playing or listening to and send it to Shoutcast, so you can go send it to places like Second Life, Sansar, or for that matter, anything that's going to, any web client can listen to it as well. So, you can listen to it with your browser. So if we go ahead and do that, it's going to download it, and see it downloaded it down here. So I'm just going to go click it and install it. Goes real quick. And here is the license agreement, which I can assure you I have read. Well, the destination folder where Winamp is, and go ahead and install it. And it installs that quick. And you can set it as your current DSP plugin. So if you had another one, it would set this one as the default instead. And then also you want to run Winamp, you can click that. So it went ahead and launched Winamp here, and it put us into the configuration panel for the Shoutcast source DSP, which is the plugin that's going to stream it. So, but if I get out of there, I'm going to get out of that just to show you how you get to it from Winamp. So you go to Preferences, and there's all the plugins down here in this folder down here, plugins. And you want to look, there's like input, plugin, output, there's all kinds of stuff I've got, plugins. We're looking at the DSP effects, and it's called Shoutcast Source DSP version 2.3.5. And so if we double click on that, or if you click the Configure Active plugin, it would have gotten you here. And you can see here, you can configure up to 5 of them. I'm going to configure the first one here. And this is where you'll be putting your information of where do you want, this configuration will tell Winamp, it will convert it into and encode it into a format and send it that encoded stream to a stream provider. So it'll send it to a stream service. In this case, it's Shoutcast. So you have to know and have already previously set up that. And there's another video in this series that'll show you how to go do that, or show you an example of that. So if I go down here and look, I'm going to go ahead and type in my URL to connect to, because you're basically connecting to something on the internet. And don't use a whole server address. Just have to go ahead and say I'm going to pstnet3.shoutcastnet.com, and I'll have a port that is listening for this stream to come into. In my case, it's this. And you may or may not have a user ID or a DJ number, but you'll certainly have a password set up. And this again is you've bought this service from somebody that's running the Shoutcast server on their computers, and there's a ton of places that you can buy a stream service from. And it's not going to cost you hardly any money. It's going to cost you somewhere between, let's say, $4 to $20 a month to have a Shoutcast stream set up. So just fill all this in, and you can say, hey, I want you to automatically reconnect in case it times out or has some problems. I usually click that. It says, do you want to go? This one says you need to name this something. You got to name your server something, so I'll call mine Got Mojo. But I'm going to on-click this, make the stream public. And what this does is really, if I was wanting it to, what happens is it goes ahead and puts an entry in the Shoutcast radio directory, which you can go find on the internet if you want people to use or to be finding your radio station playing. And that's for most people that are, let's say, broadcasting all the time. But since in this kind of case, we're probably just broadcasting for 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week, I don't bother putting listing that in the Shoutcast radio directory. So the other thing we have to go to here is the third tab, which is encoder, and it defaults to AAC. And when you get a stream service, they'll tell you, what they expect you to send it to, what kind of format, what are you encoded it as. And I'm going to use the MP3 encoder because they told me to, the people I'm using, and it's defaulted to 96 kilobytes per second, and mine is a 256 byte kilobytes per second. So I got to make sure that you got all that matched up. And then the rest of them are just, the titles won't matter. Oh, let me go back here real quick. Login. I got an automatic mode. I have an older Shoutcast server I'm connecting to, so I'm using the legacy server version. Titles, I don't care about titles. So, and artwork, well, artwork only works if it's version 2. And then logs, do you want to enable the logging? So you can say, hey, yeah, go ahead and log it. And that's up to you again. And if I click auto connect here, back in the login tab, that means that it will, whenever you start Winamp, it'll automatically connect. And I don't do that because I use Winamp just to listen to music and record things, and I use it for all kinds of other things. And I don't want it to always stream every time that I start something. So I'll leave it on checked for auto connect. If I say connect, what will happen is it will start connecting. So now it's sending a stream. Well, there's nothing here, but I could go in here. This is just Winamp, right? I could go, I could play a file, and say, hey, I want to play a file, and it would play a file. And now that would be what I just played there. It captured it in Winamp, it played it, and then it took that audio, sent it to this plugin that turned it into an MP3 stream, not an MP3 file, but an MP3 stream, and connected to my Shoutcast server provider, or my Shoutcast service provider, and then it sent it onto the internet to anybody that's listening for that station that we just configured. So that's that. Now, if I was playing music or just wanting to have, talk, hear somebody hearing me talk over the internet, the way you do that with Winamp is real easy. What you can do is you can go, instead of play file, you're going to go say play URL, and they'll say, well, that would be, you normally used to, an HTTP, so you could play stuff from the internet over it. Or there's also one, though, if you type in line in colon with 2 slashes, that says whatever you're hearing on your desktop will be captured by Winamp, and then since I'm connected with the plugin, it'll be sent to the service, the Shoutcast service, that will then go ahead and send it to as many clients that are hooked up right then listening to it. So in this case, it would I would set it to line in, and I have a microphone connected, and I have a mixer connected, and I would play my guitar, and saying or play the piano and sing, and it would go ahead and capture that with Winamp and encode it and send it on to my Shoutcast provider, and then my Shoutcast provider will be hooked up, in this case, in the examples I'll show later, to a virtual world, which is Sansar. So people in Sansar, in the virtual world space that I'm in, playing, will hear me. Every one of them will get connected automatically. So, and that'll be a separate video as well. So as you can see, I just turned on line in, and as you can see here in the VU meter up in the upper left-hand side, there's me talking. So you can tell that it's actually working. It's capturing and sending it on.